público geral que nos vai visitando sempre. Este programa Great Arts on Campus, de entrada livre, é aberto à cidade de Lisboa. Estamos no século XXI e este programa é precisamente para criar pontos de circulação entre a universidade e a cidade. É assim que se trabalha no nosso tempo em qualquer cidade cosmopolita. Portanto, mais uma vez, obrigado pela vossa presença. Venham a este programa, vejam online a programação de todo o ciclo que se prolonga até maio. Fechamos 13 de maio com Meg Stewart, uma importantíssima coreógrafa norte-americana que nos vai mostrar o seu cinema. E hoje eu começo por agradecer a Lidija Kolovrat, nossa convidada. Obrigado por teres aceitado o convite da Universidade Lusófona para nos falar sobre o teu trabalho, cultura visual, fashion design e toda a tua viagem criativa com que nos tens brindado ao longo de 35 anos em Lisboa. Antes de passar a palavra à Lidija Kolovrat, vamos falar em inglês, não é? Foi o que combinámos? Sim. É pacífico para toda a plateia que a conversa tenha lugar em inglês? In English, is that okay for everybody? Okay. Great. So, let's open our conversation. We'll have a slideshow. André, se quiseres, podes lançar a slideshow of with some images that Lidija chose for us. In the end, we have a Q&A, okay? A dialogue with you, the public present, so Lidija can answer and have an exchange with you, all of you. So first of all, Lidija Kolovrat, the word is yours. I will just create some input. Tell me, you are a Bosnian-raised woman that came to Lisbon in 1990, right? Yeah. So let's go back to your roots. Before arriving to your work, your education, your culture of origin, how was this experience, cultural experience, and how did you arrive to the university studying cinema and after fashion?
Hello? Está bom?
Tenta novamente. No, speak only.
Hello?
No, it's also active, no? No. So you have mine.
Thank you. So, thank you for inviting, João. That's a challenge. I really like to be here to meet some to meet some new generation, which actually I all the time. I like to work with young people. That's how I can stay young. So yeah, I came here in the 90s, so it's like many years ago, to countryside, and then after 5 years in the countryside, I came to Lisbon. Well, my childhood was in a small town in the middle of Bosnia. Actually, it's like a really, if you put an X in Yugoslavia, I was in the middle. My parents is like Bosnia, Herzegovina. My mother was from Herzegovina and my father was Bosnian. Though I have like ancestor, Kolovrat comes from Czechoslovakia, from Prague. Actually from a very noble family. It still exists, the castles and everything, but it was many years after they landed in Bosnia. Very small, and I had a grandfather that I remember. He worked for Turks. He was on a horse, so we stayed with I'm not exaggerating, but we had almost whole town was our land, which after communism became much less. Still some, still we have a 9 hectares city land. But that was always because I loved my grandfather. And so it's I had a very good, those relations that we never forget. So my father was engineer and constructing machines, and actually traditionally in Bosnia and that part of the world, there were good engineers. For myself, I can say I am attracted to. That's why I guess I'm attracted to making clothes. Also, it's a kind of art, construction, and touch the material, and the way that I think is we carry on everything what we came with. So it's like I guess I got lots of luggage from Bosnia. Then here in the countryside, which was very new for me because I lived always in the cities. And so my friends were like 70 years old lady. I was telling João, which I really enjoyed, and that part of Portugal. And then after 5 years in the countryside, I opened a shop in near Príncipe Real. And that's when I start really making clothes. Well, it was also a period that was like, let's say, 5 years in the countryside doing exhibition, knowing, and mainly I did exhibitions. Like it was a gallery, one tag in Porto, that was known in that time. So the market and everything was very different in that time. So I find myself like, and there was a few designers, like Gonçalves. I worked for them. I painted fabrics for them, like in the beginning, and I start meeting them. And there was like Manuela Gonçalves, which was amazing. So it was very few people in that time. And so I started, like every now and then, I would bring painted cotton, and Manuel Alves, they would make some shirts. And so I was happy to meet some people. That's how it started. Then I opened my own shop, and it was like business going on and people employed, and like all that things that goes very simultaneously. What I could recall, like very important in my life in Lisbon, that was I was kind of protégé from the galleries. Luís Serpa, in that time, he was one of the best galleries and few galleries, and he was always saying, "You are multidisciplinary artist," and he helped me a lot to kind of carry on my vision and my stories. I did 2 exhibitions in his place, and he would be very open and say, "Come here and we can do some brainstorming." And we it's like one day I saw these boxes that he had because they were organizing his storage, and I said, "What is this?" He said, "This is Cindy Sherman boxes." And I said, "Oh, it's such a waste, such a nice boxes." And he says, "Fill them up." And then he marked exhibition. And I did exhibition with those boxes, and I fill them up with the fabrics and sleeves going on, or dresses outside, inside, and it was called In Between. And then I still did another exhibition in his space, which was called Spoon-Fed Concept, which was like something that you say is like something little bit forced in your mouth as that. So that was, then it's along the way with the Luís Serpa, it came, you all know very important galleries in Lisbon nowadays, Vera Cortês. So she came back to Portugal. She was working in Spain. And she came to Luís and she said, "Oh, I would like to work with you." He says, "Okay, here's Lidija. She wants to do the show. Maybe you can produce that show." So I was very lucky to meet Vera because she's really, I would say, amazing machine. I mean, she's just one of the best people I met in Portugal that can put something stand up. And it's like finding sponsors, this and that. And we really put up the show, which is one show that later I will show you. I actually didn't show that very much. It's something, let's say, a video installation, but it's also like, you could say like, in a very simple language, it's like fashion show with animals. So we did it, so she produced that and helped me to put that standing. and it was done. It went for I don't know, maybe I think maybe whole week in Sala do Viado, which is very nice, big burned room. So we did it there, and it was very funny. It's like there was a French director that in that time in Portugal, so we collaborated. So he did the filming. Then we had somebody that he knew from publicity that would come and record the sound. So it was like everything, like in those days, we were like, you pick up there, and it was kind of collaboration all the time. And I think that time is coming back. At least I feel it, because it's for a period of time. I felt that it's like it's not so many collaboration. I don't know if it's me and my social life. Maybe also the tough business in Prince Ferial. Maybe it's that also reason. But it was really funny show. We went to Alentejo. So I called first a friend that I knew, and he was he was growing. He was organic farmer. And so I called him up and I said, hey, all happy, like, look, we're coming to film. I have a friend. We would like to see some chickens and turkeys and all that. And he says, you guys from the city, so silly. You don't know that now the chickens have no feathers at this time of the year. I said, okay, anyway, we will come, so we will see maybe something. In fact, we found, we arrived there, and it was really funny. I mean, from the beginning, from the moment, of course, we arrived there in Montemoro, and then I already in the bar, we went to have a coffee already somebody said, Lidija, in fact, I really know lots of people from, it's always happened. And then he actually said, oh, you know, I have an exhibition here in this field over there. And it was like a design biennale or something part of that. So I said, yeah, sure, let's go. I mean, we didn't know really where we are going, what we are doing, except that we had these friends that have some animals or something that we were looking for. So it was not really clear idea, but we were a bunch, so something will happen. So I see his sculpture, you know, and like something was really nice, made with the tiles, with the bricks, actually, beautiful. But like ditches and you know, water is there. Like it's like you don't know where you are. Actually, it's like if there is some buildings there, there is water here, there is some dirt and all that, and suddenly, so I'm looking that, and I'm talking, and I just look, and there was whole bunch of turkeys passing next to us, and I said, "Hey, David, look." So so while we are doing that, we just we start going after the turkeys, and we really had a show. It's like there were like 5, 6 of them, and they were like cruising, and it's like turning the feathers, and the moment they felt that he is filming them, we had the best show. It was just like, and you can see that in the video, that how they love and how they actually like pushing others, and it's like it's like, you know, they like everybody else is in a second plan. So yeah, that was a really lovely visit, and we came and. I mean, the idea also was that in one of the messages to put in this video was that, so what is the best business in future? So it was in like 6 segments. So what is the best business in future? It was water. So we actually start something washing when we arrived to my friend who had this farm, and and we found some chickens, we found some kind of water there, all that, and we start like acting and like showing that the best business in future is water. So it was like, so this is a little bit, how I could say, I do feel that Bosnia has something to do. I mean, you all know Kusturica. I'm not saying that I'm similar to Kusturica or nothing like, not comparing anything like that. But there is a little bit of this kind of wild, intuitive, throwing yourself in a situation and kind of like always curious to see what situation will actually bring you. So that's, like at the same time, you have, let's say, I would have some idea that is important for me. And then many things I improvise, or people that you meet, or people that will co-create with you, and collaborations. I mean, that was very important in my work. I mean, I wish these things happen more, that more people joined like this now. If somebody, is like to join some and exchange and like different areas, I think that would be really lovely. It's like unpredictable. It's something we cannot predict how something will react, what will happen, and so that was really in a nice memory. Many years ago, Mom, let's say 20 or more.
Mm-hmm. When you talk about Luís Serpa, he was really at the time the most important, aware art dealer in Lisbon, and he was himself an artist. Can you describe? And you told me that he told Vera Cortés that you were an interdisciplinary creative spirit. I would like to listen a little bit more about your interest on this connection between disciplines. It's still nowadays interest of yours, putting in contact, in dialogue, all the fields, creative fields. How fashion can be, in your spirit, the synthesis of other disciplines.
Of course. It's I mean, fashion. If you break it, like in order to, it's like it's a lot about visual culture, and it's a lot about message that it's a social, let's say a little bit. I would say a little bit more social art. It's like, for me, by my vocation, I sometimes, when I talk to myself only, not publicly, but I will say what I feel. I feel like my desire to do which kind of project. It's like a social sculptor. I like what could bring to the community, what could bring an intrigue. So it's like paradox, sense of humor. And of course, in my life, I do a lot. I'm curious about many things, and I'm everywhere. In a cinema, in a theater, we do costumes. We go like exhibitions, and my friends are artists. So we work with musicians, and I think other people in fashion do the same. Maybe I kind of cross more borders by doing and filming stuff, and it was. I'm really happy for that. And this, what you will see now with this video, I think besides that we show it with Luís Serpa, never was shown. Not even in Moda Lisboa. I don't think anybody knows for these projects. And I did another 2 projects. That was one is called Haircut, which was my hairdresser with a very timid assistant. She was Burmese, and she studied in St. Martin's, and she was my assistant for 3 years, and really a very talented girl. It took me a while to convince her that she goes with a swimming suit, on the table, and he does a haircut, and haircut is falling, and so I thought also I was looking always this intimacy moment and confrontation a little bit, and what you do when you cutting a hair, and she's Oriental woman, and so I think we will not show that. We will not have time for that probably. But then there was another one which was I think in Lux, and they invited for it was erotic festival. Then I have this very close friend who is a film director, and I asked him to, first of all, we had a dancer to do that. We had a dancer to do this erotic festival, and it was like I would do the story, but then the dancer was staying in Switzerland. He had to record more something. So what shall we do? So it was me. So I was the dancer. Well, it was funny. I liked the project. I mean, the thing that I was, at that time, I was divorcing my husband. So that was, so that used to be, then that was kind of improvised in it. And the project was called Fresh Widow. And it was like, and then also the Portuguese element of the pearls, of the fado and the dress, and the, in my studio, old studio, and we sprayed a space with the renda. Fizemos ambiente parecia sítio de fado. Mas eu tava, it's like I was going, hello, fresh widows, all the fresh widows. Now is the time. So now is the time. We got all this money. So what shall we do? So the idea was that all the ladies that the husband died, because I was kind of separating from my husband, so I was calling the other. So there was a translation that we all kind of decide what we are doing now. We are free and we can do whatever we want. I mean, it's happening all over the world. I mean, all these stories going up and down and millions and billions. And so that was another one. Then there is another video also, Horse and the Moon, which I forgot actually. I think it's like, for me, there is like these projects really happened really years ago. And that was also a very nice one. This was commissioned by Gulbenkian as a work. They commissioned that I do something. So, and while I was talking, preparing that, I was going through Praça de Comércio, which is near my home, and going to one festival. It was August, around 30th of August. And suddenly I really felt the energy. I really shivered. I looked at the horse, and the moon was just above. And because in that period I was thinking, what shall I do for Gulbenkian? And then it popped up this idea, which title was video installation, Horse and the Moon. But I was really intrigued because I really had a very special feeling. So I spoke to my friend astrologer, and she said to me, oh, you should speak to Miguel Gandra. And Miguel Gandra, I never knew about him. He was at that time professor in Yad, and he's actually wrote a book about Portuguese cosmology. And besides, he's a very interesting personality with 9 children, very rich spirit. And I was lucky, he had a lunch with me. And I asked him, I said, I don't know why my friend recommended that I speak to you, because I really felt some energy special when I look at the moon and the horse. And he said, well, it's like this moon and the horse is aligned with Mafra. So it's like, and you know why? Then he started telling me long story about why there is 7 streets in Baixa, 7 with 8, why Ronaldo had the number 17. So it is real that the Portuguese number is 17. And so there is this cosmology and numerology of Portugal that actually start from there. And he wrote a book about that. And I was very intrigued with that. So it's like, so we rented a studio and we took orange in the water in a big pool. I was going and so we had some kind of filming and installation, and very funny with this. This also a result of that was one video which was presented in Gulbenkian. And so on. I think maybe, I mean, it's possible that I remember something else. But yes, there was always passion for video.
Yeah, that's very interesting to understand how a fashion designer, a creator like you, from where does she comes from? It's not, there is not a straight line, right? There are many fields where you drink, the many fountains, and suddenly you have a signature and you are socially recognized in a field, but you come from many territories of interest. So my question now is, in these 30 years in Lisbon, how changed, from your perspective, the fashion world? Because in 1990 or 92, 3, 4, the early years of Moda Lisboa, I can imagine that the community of fashion was different from today. And also people on the street, how people behave, how Portuguese dress up at that time, and what changed through these years until now. Can you give us the perspective of these changes in the community and in the street life?
Well, I would say for me, I see it all as a one thing. It's though, I mean, let's say, like, of course, I had to also look at my work. That was I did because I made some different collection, and I was pulling out and see also that what I did before and what I did now. I think it's in fact fashion. It's developing. You know, it's like how I could say. It's like there is lots of effort also, but there is also lots of limitation because, I mean, first of all, fashion is a little bit, you need to be, let's say, a rebel. You need to be a little bit off. You need, so it's like you need to confront yourself. You need, it's to see always different. So, I mean, and you also, at the same time, you have to be also kind of, inside and outside the insider. So there's lots of, let's say it's a lots of ping pong inside of you. So you really need to love it. You need to love it that today, and that, you're constantly changing your vision. And how much it changed? Well, I don't think actually it changed so much. I mean, because it's also, it's like what it shows, what is really comes and pop up. What I sometimes I miss, it's a side effect. It's like, for instance, we do Moda Lisboa. I did something. The other designer did something. What I would like that it's happened. Sometimes I thought I would go and speak about it, because it's like, I see I haven't been on Moda Lisboa. I did in Gulbenkian, this last show. And sometimes then, I didn't go actually in Moda Lisboa. And what I think people are kind. And there is but it's like real questioning. Why did you do that? What did you do? Or so I think it would have to probably be people from the field that they go. What is missing more? I think kind of interviews, confrontation with the work. Or why you did now with the social media, that is becoming a little bit more into appealing and even myself, I used to speak more before, then I'm not speaking, and now probably I'm thinking, well, one moment I will start talking, how things are made. So this is also, I think, the component that it needs. It's like one thing, you're showing the model Lisboa, you can show the photos, you show the image, but how did you do it? Like I say, now with the social media, it's more common that people describe and they take photos and how it's made last year. Let's say that's recent. But for instance, like I can say that now. I mean, I had a really very, very kind of boring questions normally after the show. Why is this is like that? It is the green, it is the red, and they basically repeat the sentence that we also wrote. So I would say to assistant, look, you better see what you write, because that's what's going to appear, and that will become a history. But in fact, it's like there is lots of talented people, and it's like, after all, Portugal has a textile industry. It's important, and it should be shaken a little bit more. People, the designers should demand that actually factory, if they imagine factory gets some subsidy, well, then it should have 1 or 2 students that they can produce there. And that question was always, there is something around about it. And also this question, and journalists and all that, I think that needs to be spoken more loud, or somebody like him, that knows about, that should actually do interviews. And why did you do that? And how did you do it? I had a friend the other day talking about, he does high jewelry. And he told me, look, I'm producing in Thailand, I'm producing in Paris and Switzerland, and in Portugal. So what's the difference? So it's like, for him, I think then you should speak about it, because I have no idea what it means to produce and put the stones and diamonds in Thailand. And then he says in Switzerland, they carve it inside, or in Portugal, how they put the stone. I have no idea. And same for our profession. I mean, now and this year, we could see that it's like really loudly, and very beautiful work appeared in the handicraft and in couture, which is, I would say, more than in previous years, and also more experimentation on the material. So there is a lot to say. So what I want to say, that there is interesting changes, and all the time coming new people, and they are here probably. And I think it's missing that actually the quality can get better if we speak about that quality and techniques that we use, or what we can do, and demand some help from the industry. I think that should be. I mean, who I am to say that, really? I mean, I fight my own work through directly to the clients. I have some clients here, few, but few ones. So it's like that's my income come directly. It's really that. I mean, I don't have subsidies. It's what I make and what I sell and what I work with clients, that's how the whole company lives. And we have actually in one moment, I will mention this here, maybe it's important. I bought a factory in Almada, in the center of Almada. Because I heard there is 600 factories closed in south of South Bank, the reason was also that the woman that had this, which is tailoring. I used to love tailoring, and I still nowadays I can't do real tailoring. We cannot do it in our atelier because we don't. It's the space, it's the machine, it's the presses, it's the people that know how to work. Because we are now confronted with the time that we don't have a people that have skills. And we don't have skills also. I mean, I worked for many years, but still maybe I can do a jacket, but still about real tailoring, it's like, it's not many people that can do that. That know exactly what to put, how to do it, the tension, all that, you know, it's not but still, so I worked with one woman that had a factory across the river, and she always said, "Oh, Lidija, you're gonna continue this." So we had some nice, really, a relation, and she would make my jackets when I did for men, for, you know, different, because I really liked that, and it was a luxury for me to be able to do like 12, 20 jackets, and she would do any quantity. There was something, you know, like perfectly made. It was amazing. So in one moment, it came pandemic, and I heard she died, and that was a shock. And her husband said to me, "Look, well, the conversation came in thing because I had interned from Holland that was from tailoring. And she wanted to intern with me, and I said, look, I'm not doing tailoring. I'm not, we are doing atelier work. I mean, it's, let's say, halfway through, but it's not tailoring, what she was expecting, probably. And then one day she just arrived from Holland, and she said, I do it anyway. And it was a really nice relation. I'm happy that girl, because we did some amazing stuff together. And because we had this conversation, suddenly I said, let me call this factory, let's see what's happening. And that's how it happened. The husband of the lady that died, which is named Salome, and was an amazing personality. She was almost 80, and she was still working, active. And actually happened this already in pandemic, that, so he said to me, you know what, I mean, let's have a talk. So I called my daughter. I said, look, I think this will happen, something, he will try to convince me to take it over. And that's what happened, for all the reasons. So I do have a factory, which is not working, because we have no capacity and no people to put them there. I mean, just like, but, so you see, like, but I will open here some possibilities. I mean, the factory is closed. It's all, we all painted, organized. And so, like a few months ago, I was like walking, and I thought, what shall I do there? There is something has to happen there. So it's like, then I thought maybe it can be something like a hub for fashion. I mean, I see that different things, like students that want to do some work and they rent a machine. It's like co-working in some ways. Maybe even seamstresses, costureiras, that they are in a neighborhood in Almada, that we can find a way that project goes. It could be some workshops, somebody comes from Savile Row and show a little bit how to do a perfect collar or sleeves or pockets. So yeah, so it's still there. Yeah, it costs me every month, but still maybe one day it will come one element that will say, hey, maybe some of the teachers, maybe some of the people. I mean, I had a few that would say, hey, let's make that work it out. Because I imagine it would be nice that, you know, as a young designer, you can go there and play and discover your pieces, make your pieces. And small collection, there is a machine, there is a press, there is everything, basically. So, because I have some very posh seamstresses that don't want to go, because I call it factory, so no, we don't go to factory. Yeah, so but also, yeah.
So it's part of your concept of fashion as a social sculpture, right? Transforming society somehow.
Yes, Yes, I think it's like astrologers. They say when you have what is it the in the Venus? I forgot suddenly. It's like your dead is it's humanity. So it's like. It doesn't mean that I want to say I'm a good person or something like that. That could be a part, and that's questionable. But I need to prove myself that is something is from the bigger purpose. Even on a collection, so like I will jump on that because time probably will fast. Even no, shall I? Yes. So the collections, some like last collection. Was
some images if you want to comment.
Well, this one, wave. Yeah, this was inspired with one beach. I think it's called Carapateira in Vicentina, in the Costa Vicentina. So the floor, the things, that actually the photos of and images, and usually we work a lot to digital print. Yeah, this is called Your Favorite Team is Playing. This was done in the basketball basketball field. Actually, I was alone in the atelier. Actually, in this collection, I didn't really know what to do. And then I was walking out. I spent some time in the night in my atelier, and then I saw the guy with the yellow coat from the back, and that's how it started. This is let's say more funny. It's called Medo y Amor. Probably in one moment that I was asking myself, are people more afraid or they love? If you love, you're not afraid, because sometimes, it's like I question that when people say, oh yeah, I'm afraid. Oh, he's afraid. I mean, what that means. So then we had the pieces that was actually sold very well. This is a kind of jalaba kind of style. This was a very nice collection. Actually, was after I doing ayahuasca in Peru, and I spent 1.5 months in Peru and Bolivia, and was very interesting trip. And this was certainly very interesting also to do in CCB next to Amish Kapoor and all that privilege to have that show. And was lots of people. And 20 minutes after, I still couldn't speak. And there was lots of people emotional. I mean, it was a lot of, it was a lot of compassion, in fact. And it was a very nice friend of mine styled the collection. He's a very known designer. Yeah, and this was, it's called Passport. This was influenced with, we did some, through some African sculptures, which is this bag actually here, which like in Africa, they do, I found in Feira de Ladra actually, a piece of wood that they carved the face. It has handle, and it's like a face. So it's like the man called that Passport. It's from Guinea-Bissau. And they carve their face, and that's their passport. So I thought that's funny in comparison with our passport.
You talk about the graphics that you print.
Yeah.
It's a mark of your.
Yes. Yeah, we do always lots of patterns, and this one is called mandala, and it was done with this girl that wanted tailoring. She ended up doing a mandala print. It took us 2 months actually. It's not that it's difficult to do that. I guess any of you students can do that in, let's say, in an hour, but it took us a long time to digest what could be contemporary mandala. And this is one of the things that, and in fact, and I have this proven in the shop, that things happen energetically. And like vibration is real, and many people, it's like you can watch people when they come in a store and how they are attracted to certain things, with what they resonate. I also did some patterns. Yeah, this, I will jump on this and then maybe later. So this was a very nice team working with me on a collection. Like you can see, one of them is in Moda Lisboa, like Kalp Sal. He did this with the and this is from trip from Cuba, and it's called Cuba Re-elected. And we literally printed on dresses, Cuba is a lost dream, or something like that. It's a dream, and yeah, it was going on this pattern. We wrote that, and of course these Pontiacs, and this is Botteguita there in the middle, and yeah, this is Telefortune. So this is one of our best sellers.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, we have nowadays, we have like maybe 4 or 5 pieces that actually, that they are the most, that keeps the brand. Now we want to do shop online. It takes us everything a long time because we have a shop and it's very active. In fact, it's very active, and my way of working is that when the clients comes, and if we get attached with the client, and we do everything, and we will do a long unique piece, and we will do whatever. You know, it's like imagine somebody comes Sunday and buys 6 unique pieces, and then we need to have a little something there, a little bit something there. So you know, so we are. It's like. Our life is with into our details. So, I mean, like, I think that's how it should be. At the same time, it is something that is against business. So it's like how to combine that. It's and what option you. I guess that's every designer has that question. Yeah. Yeah. This is my Portugal. So I felt I need to give back to Portugal something, and then so I'm free, kind of free. Let's say, it's like when you say something is given to you. Now is the moment that you kind of put that back. So there is, few dresses. The one was in mood, and so this is kind of idea. This is a tree, literally the tree in Prince Perial. And yes, there is, this is already another one, but there is one my favorite dress was this white one, and one black one that was in mood that for me present Portugal.
Dialogue of cultures, sculpture, deconstruction.
And here, this one, as well.
Yeah.
So because this is
go
running
on,
away.
please.
This, you see, this first image, this really happened sort of by accident. First, we didn't know if this model will go or not. I had, I don't know, didn't know how she fits. We made this bag with like a stone to imitate the rock. And then, you know, it's like I felt so. It's on the last moment. It's like she's pulling, like Sisyph, she's pulling a rock. But this collection had to do, the title of the collection is, I am here because you are here. My best friend is he had a stroke last year and he's in a wheelchair. And when I came to see him, just sometimes before the show, because I knew already collection I will do about with the rocks, because this house, Casa do Penedo, I was like very astounded, like this idea of that sustainability, it's a real sustainability. You find the 3 rocks. Apparently the man saw these 3 rocks. He was walking with the wife, and he saw these 3 rocks, and he says, I'm going to build a house here. But then he didn't know in that time that these 3 rocks are actually 3 properties that belong to 3 different owners. So he had to put all that together. But he did a beautiful house. I was inside of that house, and house is really beautiful inside. How he really used the space. 8 people can sleep in there, and it's bigger than it looks from outside, and it's amazing. I think it's really... So this was our inspiration. But then when I was with Johannes, my friend, who was still kind of incapable and in a wheelchair, so there was a period he's like 70-something, and he was a little bit down, feeling, you can feel, you talk to him, but he cannot move, you know. So he got a woman, somebody brought this woman from Senegal, who is like a kind of a coach, and the words and the sentence that pull him out to feel that he can still do things. It was that she was, one of the sentences she said, I am here because you are here. So she touches him, and the way she was talking, questioning him, I could see his progress. So that's where the title comes from. And in fact, I am here because you are here. Otherwise, what I would do here alone.
Beautiful, Lidija. Maybe could you tell us, to finish before the film, because we have a short film to show you, to pick up little moments of this short video. Can you tell us a little bit about your concerns on sustainability and ecology, and your last project, most recent one in CAM, Centro de Arte Moderna Gulbenkian, where you showed in a particular way your pieces in an installation context. Can you tell us a little bit about your concerns? And the title of this exhibition, that is the title of our meeting today, right? Same title.
Yes. So first about your sustainability. Well, you know, it's like I didn't change my way of working, maybe because I'm stubborn or I'm not incapable to change myself in that sense, but I just simply, I love fabric. My name is Spinning Wheel. Kolovrat is a roca. It's like spinning wheel. So there is something there that was done, chemistry in my head that I think that's also, you know, I feel fabric, working with fabric like a part of me. The sustainability, well, you know, I always worked with that, I couldn't get the fabrics, you know, I couldn't get the fabrics really in there on everything on Premier Vision. I would go on Premier Vision, spend a lot of money, and you come with certain things. That was also very nice. But I always bought, and I'm still buying that stock. So that's one way. Plus I recycle clothes. Like I recycle sometimes in different way. Either the customization or destroying and processing a little bit. You know, before I had these ideas of mixing paper and the fabric, and this like a kind of physical mixing. Now there is actually a project with Model Lisboa that they invited me to do something, to innovate something. So we will work with somebody that is from industry or some company that we will kind of probably try to make some new fabric, new either weave or some technique. Well, you know, I already like, let's say, in reality, you can speak about sustainability, but sustainability, it cost me really, I would be much more, let's say, probably would keep me more progressed than the way I'm working, you know, it's like, so it is, let's say, not always, don't take me 100%, but there is aspect in it that slow you down. And it would have to be probably in some more collaborative way. And this is, I think, the question also. I think it would ideally more designers would collaborate like musicians, like you know, they process something, another process something. I mean, so to save resources. I think saving resources is something closer than just think about sustainability or, you know, like how you do it. I mean, how you do it when you're young, you know, you even have to first to see how it's silk, how is this, how is that, how is the wool. I mean, of course there is people that doing that, and but there is also lots of synthetic and lots of customization and lots of new technique that need glue, that need this, need that. So difficult subject. But I do say that we are sustainable brand. I mean, but I'm old school, you know, a little bit. I'm kind of slow fashion, you know. Yes, and yeah, as much the time permits you. This is a nice project that I love this. It was with the gallery exhibition. By the way, I did many exhibitions. I mean, I think it's half actually what I did, and I did more than 20 shows, but many projects we did. I made a selection here that I thought in this moment that would be interesting. This one is called Sinatura. It's a law of correspondence between the similarity of vegetable shapes and human organs as studied by Paracelsus. This is also many years ago. I was invited to create something for the gallery, a project. So I sit in the kitchen, in the old atelier, and I thought, and it was like 3 o'clock was a meeting, it was 2 something, and I said, must be here the answer. So I look at the peanuts, that was there, we had a bag of peanuts. I said, that's it. So I took that with me. And then the fact that, you know, I used to read some, like Paracelsus, Krishnamurti, all the, so then I remember that he was actually first doctor. That's, he was guided by the fact that shape, its shapes corresponds to the quality. I mean, Bach, like we all like his, you call it incenses? No, the remedies, Bach remedies. He would walk in the forest, and he would just say, and he would recall, and he was just intuitively, there was no, let's say, laboratory or something to prove that that plant is for that. So Paracelsus was going by the shape. When we did this, I had an old shop, and there came some clients, and beside there was a man who was from Amazon, and he says, well, the nut is good for brain, and it looked like a brain. So I see now that it's, of course, everything is cyclical, and also how we recall our knowledge, it's cyclical. So, I mean, maybe it's like, I think it's very nice that we look at the shape and actually that we understand, like the strawberry is good for heart, and it look like heart, and not that somebody else tell us what's good for heart. I mean, let's say there is some relation.
You want to comment your exhibition in Cannes?
Cannes, yeah. Well, Cannes was let's say, was very, like, I was honored and very, how I could say, it's very comfortable to do something in Cannes. Also, no publicity, no L'Oreal, no anything else. I mean, this is a side joke we need to. But it was, I would say, it was beautiful because we were really helped from both sides. The only thing I had almost to do all by myself, the collection, because my assistant was very busy just with the meetings. You know, to secure the structure, because, you know, we didn't want to fail with the car, we didn't want to not come, we didn't want to not do on time, we didn't, you know, so like Celine, which is my assistant on the collections, and she's very reliable. So she was doing all this dialogue, and I would just go on the main meetings and basically just go from the. So when they ask me what you want to do, I said seeds. Oh, that's interesting. So that's how it started. And which space? So there was possibility 2 spaces. One space was a place like that, where I think Entrudo, she did in the space, which was like a black box. And for me, was not. I didn't feel that, and I said. So I went to Engave, which was the garden was on the side, and for me was the reason is first the seeds, to see them grow, and also this feeling of community. So also like. Well, the things we don't have, like we don't have lots of time to do collections. That's it's like running time. So, but what I said on the first meeting, actually, it did happen that way, because sometimes you have to change it, because something is like you like it's your feeling, and then what was it? And then I said, yeah, I would like the public. Where will be the public? Well, around. Then we were thinking, so what we do? So then it came this with the columns that we also it's like that they come out of it, because the space is very beautiful, but it's not easy space. It's a space for teaching, for something, but it's not easy space because it's just retângulo, não é? Tem está aberto toda, não é? To create. And then when I ask myself what I want to do there, it's like to create intimacy, to create people to feel. So the fact that, and then they say, well, we have a very limited possibility here, the light. I said, okay. So we will count on that. So in fact, there was limited with light, but that's why the atmosphere. I feel that feeling was more important, and also the seeds grow in dark, so they have to break. So this idea, the title came. That was my son told me one morning, and I said, "Look, Bo, I'm gonna do a show with the seeds." And he said, the seeds, they need to break in order to grow. So that's where it came, the title. And it's true. And more I thought about it, more it's coming to the show. Actually, this situation that we're living now, I think I see the parallel of that thought, that actually we do need it's like we need to come out, we need to break through this situation and these difficult, complicated moments that we're living in different nations, and what's other, it's like there is lots of suffering, and we still don't feel we are threatened. Our life is still kind of safe, everything is going on. And I think that's what also all these things, what's happening in the world, they want us to feel that we feel very safe here and not safe somewhere else, and that's normal. I think we need to feel like a seed that needs to break in order to grow, otherwise we don't grow. And I would really like, there was another thing. I was invited for one project, but I'm not going to do it. But in fact, it was very interesting conversation. It's also to do exhibition, and it was a capella in this case. So this about we were talking about concepts, and there was an exhibition there with Yi Ching. And, I said, there is hexagram 57 that Benjamin Franklin says, look, guys, either we hang together or we will certainly hang separately. So
Beautiful. Do you want to present the film? We can take a look now. Do you
I
want to?
think so. I probably
Do you want to say some words to the public to contextualize what is it, or just show
I
it?
don't know. I lost.
Let's watch it. Let's watch it.
Yes.
Ok, André, o André will pick up some.
Yes.
O André vai picar o filme, ok? O filme é longo, portanto vamos ver assim uma espécie de 5, 6 minutos e o André vai de uma forma selvagem picando o filme para vocês terem uma impressão desta obra da Lidija Kolovrat. Obrigado, André.
Maybe that's better.
E a seguir fazemos uma conversa com o público.
This was first exhibition of mine. turkeys that we found in the field. And they put coffee as they knew we coming. Sempre mais uma vez. Como é que está mais? Paris that we worked with latex. This music is Carlos Zingaro.
So I even
This is a qual é o melhor negócio do futuro. the title of this video installation, it was Istinism, which is the word that I invented. Istina, it's in my language, is verdade. È come se fosse un verdadeirism. But then again, there is another play with the words. Istinism, it could break in two words, which means I'm not the same. It was not very good quality. I think we, I don't know what is with our resolution, because you could see it better, but I'm sorry for that. You got a little bit of the spirit. Yes. 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 Yeah. Something like that. I think maybe 91 or something, but it is, yeah, it's more than 30 years. Huh? Well, the true is always actually, I guess, yeah. I mean, I like to see it. I like to see it. It's amazing. Yeah.
Some minutes now, talking with the public.
I will just here give you something what I spoke to my assistant before preparing this, what we will choose. And this is a little bit my internal talk to myself. How to conciliate intuition and commercial work. What kind of designer would I be if I was living in different countries? Shock and critique your own work. How far can you stretch a concept for people to still understand the initial idea? How to redefine the notion of fashion, show, or presentation in relation to the size of the brand? How the process of fashion show brings rigidity to the collection process. Is that necessary?
Thank you, Lidija Kolovrat. What a lesson on fashion and visual culture. Now let's open the dialogue, and Lidija is able to answer to your questions or listen to your suggestions. Who wants to break the ice? There is no ice. There is no ice.
I will break the ice. Break the ice. Break the seed. Have a courage. Just shoot.
Hello, Lidija. How are you?
Hello, darling.
Thank you for coming. It's
Thank
always
you.
a pleasure to listen to your work, to listen you talk, because one of the things that I learned to love about you, not only as a fashion designer, which perhaps not every time I agree with your proposals, but I understand them and I like them for some reason, or some of them I really love them. But the things that I really love about you is your questionable, consistent questions about life and about society and about other forms of creation, and mixing it together and trying to have results of something. Not a straight answer, but something. And my doubt is, in this, some of the questions you read just now, I think is, how is your approachable and your doubts and your, not afraid of not being settled? That's the feeling I have from you. You're not settled. You are always, how you say it in English? I'm missing the word, but inquieta.
I wanted to say the same word.
Inquieta. You are restless? You are always restless,
it's nice,
right?
Inquieta.
And how do you put that restlessness that you have in such a country like ours, which is very complex, because we are very scared still, after 50 years of apparently freedom, And all the thing, democracy, etc. Let's not go there. But how you mix together your restlessness in such a conservative, afraid of being different, afraid of showing differences, how you mix it and how you be accepted in our really tiny thing, I don't know if
Yes.
I made myself clear.
I think very well. I
because-
understand you, yes. Inquietude. Okay. I just, I recall one thing. It's like I made recently something for my face, which is coffee, honey, white of the eggs, and coconut. So I think it comes from the point that things can be mixed and always something comes. And we are the one that we mix things, but we can always change one or two ingredients. Yes, I have, it's like inquietude. Sì, eu acho que nasci com isso, não é? We have our energy, initial energy when we are born. But it's also like a constant, I'm searching for something and learning for something. And that's something I need to do for my own sake, for survival. Of course, one day is better than the other, and you notice and you go on. I mean, it's like when we have, we a lot, let's say, all of us, I guess we are pulsing with certain elements, but we don't forget to add another element. So I guess, or at least before, I believe, I came here karmically, so I accept it. And then I also have that factor that I like to help the environment where I am. I mix. So, and then also I mix and I shake, probably. It's like before, I think I was more difficult personality. I know that, and other people say that. Because I was not understanding why I have to do this way, that way, when you can do you know what I mean? The different cultures there. Well, I think I passed that phase, and it's true. It would be nice that we shake, and that I think Portugal, in one hand, I really honestly feel that people need better chance. And the fact is now what we're discovering in the world, that we really have to accept that the world is bad and that we have to fight, that nothing really comes to us from religion, from the politic, from, it's like we thought we live in a democratic society. We don't live in a democratic society. We are cheated left and right. So we better forget about, this where you are from, why not, and all that. And you wake up and you say, well, look, I need to fight for myself and for others. And actually, I guess some people in this moment will change attitude. I don't know if this is an answer to your question.
It's a part of the answer.
Yes, and the part you make.
Yes, and we could be here
Yes,
for hours,
yes,
right?
that's
Yeah.
right, that's right. We can have it with the coffee, always different, no?
True.
I mean, I saw you one day, all the teachers, can you imagine? You see how world is premeditated. I think I met you guys celebrating on the end of the,
Oh, that's true.
they were having a nice, happy moment together. Also happy because the aulas acabaram.
Yes, yes.
And all went,
We saw Lidija. That's Lidija.
that's right.
I don't even.
Yes,
this
and it was,
way.
look,
Just-
and here we are now.
I felt the energy and I had to come
Yeah.
to the street, and I found you guys and we were celebrating. Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Mihail, Karikis.
Thank you very much for the presentation. Just a bit of background. Lidija and I met 6 years ago, or something like that. I was walking down the street in Príncipe Real, and I was wearing I'm a fan of geometry. I was wearing a very, visible geometric outfit. So Lydia, that I didn't know, just stopped me in the street. And also I was wearing a specific Macedonian hat. And Lydia stopped me and said, "Oh, who are you? What are you doing here? Let's be friends. Let's have a drink." And then we realized that actually we have a friend in common who's a fashion designer in London. Anyway, my question is, what I observe in your work is a kind of freshness. It's a kind of resistance to resolve. That there is always, a new experimentation, a new idea, and I find that very often, you are very happy to leave things very open, which to me reads as, of course, being open to the world and to chance, and it makes the work very distinct, very fresh. From what I have seen, and in ways an extension to the previous question, from what I have seen in fashion departments here, the work that I have seen in like final degree shows is the opposite of that. So my question is, since you are such an your enthusiasm for what you're doing is so addictive, and you can be a huge inspiration, not only commercially, for people walking past your shop, but I think your work is hugely, could be a huge inspiration, and the way you think for younger generation designers. Have you ever thought of being an educator? Have you been an educator? Would you consider being an educator? If not, why not?
Thank you. I had several very nice experiences. One, for instance, in Portugal, it was in Arco that I did some workshops. Then I did in Madrid. Then I did in Palma de Mallorca. That was a really funny one. I think some images passed. How funny. It's like there was supposed to be a German artist to carry on the masterclass, and then she couldn't, and they invited me to do it last minute. And so it was carry on Palma de Mallorca, and so of course there was in there it was closed to Camper. Camper was carry on. They were sponsored that masterclass, so it was like I think around 10 students, and one was working at that time for Esprit. Japanese or Korean, something like that. Then there was 2 Belgian. There was, from many different places. Okay, I think, so to not take it too long, it was very exciting for me. And I must say the teaching is very exciting for me. Not the teaching daily to daily, but teaching as an exercise. I do very exciting. I keep myself away a little bit. It could be very revolutionary or a little bit kind of intense, because, for instance, the guy from Esprit, I already like because I take myself very much as a part of it. I emerge with them, and I kind of decided who gonna win, because it was competition. So there was 2 Belgian women and men. And the one was like a very much Ralph Simon style, and so he designed his sneakers very well. And then suddenly in our dialogue, I said, "Well, why you don't cut them and open that? You can still walk in the something like that." And there was the funniest thing was this the guy from Esprit, because Esprit in that time, that was like always these aerodynamic shapes. And so I said, this is all the same. And he was. And he was like very funny and really, like so I said, okay, we sit on a computer together, and I said, can you please go in the garden and bring some bark from the trees and collect some things that you like? And so he brought that, and I said, okay, put this now in computer. Let's do the same thing. And we end up with some really Flintstone sneakers. And it was really exciting. I mean, you know, so that was the result of that. And, you know, like the other one was also very interesting in Vienna, in Angewandte Kunst, where I was teaching Isabel Branquinho. It was Ralph Simon there. It was Vivian Westwood was teaching there. Edward Worm on art department. And I was really happy there. It was, we had the images there, and it was, again, you know, it's like I'm known that I don't prepare so much things ahead. It's my tool is intuition, and you know, it's like I have to be really squeezed to come with the results. So I was kind of in a plane writing what would be, and one of the phrases I remember as a 10, so I wrote these 10 commandments for them to what to follow, and one of them was to know when to stop. And so when I came there, so how we do, and I spoke to the coordinator and all that, and so one of the ideas is like that you inhabit the fabric. So she said, okay, so they had some stock of fabric because some factories gave them a fabric. So we pulled the roll of a fabric and I put it around, and I said what I asked them to do is that they inhabit their own space, and then they cut it. And some of them, they all did very different things. It was like fashion departments and a few other departments they joined. There was like 40 people there on top in the building. And then it's like, for instance, some of them, they inhabit the fabrics and they lie down like the Rebecca Horn or something. So from the bottom, because the floor was a grid of metal, you could see they are like, it's like one image, it's like she's flying, it's like it's embryon. And on the top, when you see the same thing taken picture on the top, it was like a bird. Then another guy, he put in the shoes, like a fabric, and he calçou, tecido. And then sometimes there were 3 of them, the colleagues and all that, and so they put the fabric around, they worked it out, and and then they cut it around. So the idea was that you inhabit the fabric, and you see, it's like. It's not just clothing. So clothing, it is your space around yourself. So fashion, let's say, has another approach. And what me in the teaching, I would naturally go to this another approach, which means, you know, what is your territory? How you define your space. So I was more in a teaching. I was giving myself freedom for another aspects of. So yeah, I do love it, but it's a love and distance, you know, because I don't know how I would really function. No, I would not function. I was like, yeah, you see the answer. But yeah, but who knows how world will change? You know, and maybe in a factory we can have mix some other time, and I can invite you, and we can do some other things. So thank you for your question, and thank you for compliment.
Thank you, Rita.
Isn't it? Ooh.
New question?
So, hi Widya, good evening.
Hi.
Growing up in Bosnia, in Yugoslavia during the Cold War, and taking into consideration that you studied in Zagreb, if I'm not mistaken, and taking account all the social and political circumstances of the time, I'm sure that your upbringing, your way of weaving there, even the artistical differences, the way people perceived art and fashion, where you're from, in contrast to here in the West, in Portugal, I'm sure it was very, very different. And so my question is, taking into account all those differences and the way people perceived it there in contrast to here. And also you touched earlier on the subject of meaning and visual culture. So how do you try to express something to a public that might not have the culture, the knowledge, the context, or even the sensibility to try to understand your work, if that is something that concerns you while you're creating?
You don't think about that. I think it's like it's like how somebody will perceive the work is also something that, yes, it comes to, every now and then you have to take a distance, of course. But me being one independent, I was always independent. So I basically, in fact, you can say that I do what I want. I defend that. And I think as an artist, if you want to create, you have to defend that. It's not a question how to, of course, like I was today saying to my new assistant, is like, I said, well, I have to be, I think he laughed, and I laughed also, because I said, oh, you know what? So I'm going to the, I had this appointment, but I said, I need to be myself. There is every now and then a moment that, and now I feel I might change a lot. Because I do feel in this moment that I have to be myself. It's like, I think this is interesting question, what you ask, in what we, all of us, we go along the line and we change slowly, this radically. We have different, let's say, different aspect, different influences and all that. But it comes moment that you say, hey, well, I think this is I must say, I'm dedicated to the shop. I'm dedicated to the client. I love my client because they also has to do, and they, not only because they support me, because they also personality. They have something to do with me. And the people that work with me, I am responsible for that both. So, of course, there is a good stuff that came on that road, but now I feel, it's like, let me be myself. So I don't know how will be that, because I do feel I need to bite something new from my own work.
Thank you.
It's about conviction, right? It's about a vision of the world that you want to express.
You want to touch yourself. I think it's all the creative work that we do has to do that we actually find in equivalent inside of ourselves. And, of course, it's like there is a reason you did this and that. You can follow that, and then you cut the time there, or didn't have this fabric, or you did that fabric, or you didn't actually do this idea that from the beginning you wanted to do. So then you say, okay, and now I don't judge myself, well, I didn't do, I turn, and then I permit that ideas, you can have a second life of the same idea, you can do it better tomorrow if you want. There is a phase in everything. And also, it's like, oh, maybe I can just do something really that is, who knows for who. So that is moment, let's say, like that.
Process, right? Creative process.
Yes, and it's like that. The thing with all of us, I think the question is that we are good with ourselves, and that we can actually see what we're missing. What we, it's like that you can say, okay, it's like when you are hungry, that you know that you are hungry, or when you are hungry for some idea, for some color, for some texture, for that you know that you are hungry.
Next question, there is someone.
Hi, Lidija, good evening.
Hola.
Oi. Me and my colleague, the last semester, we had an assignment, and chose to make it about one of your dresses in Moody, the one from Meu Portugal Igualmente Nostálgico, the one that looks like a guitarra do fado.
Yes, I love that dress.
Yes, it's really beautiful.
Thank you.
I wanted to I wanted you to talk about how your silhouettes translate to your passion about dressing people. It's one of the things we researched about, that it said about you that you have a big passion for dressing people, and I think
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Again, that's probably why I don't do better clothes. Because dressing people is, let's say, you accept limitations. So I accept, I have all kind of bodies that come, and I take a challenge that I can dress them very well. And that's why we also survived. Because let's say in Portugal, we don't really have a public, now more and more, like now our best clients are from New York or from Saudi, but before we had to dress people that were 60 years old, because that was the best clients in Portugal when I started. And, so, yeah, I mean, it's accepting accepting what it comes to you. I think that's that's maybe now my new phase. It has to do with that I don't care who comes, who doesn't come, who, for instance, I love that dress, and I love the other white dress, that they are kind of, so I love geometry. But yeah, of course, we make things. We sell clothes. The fact is that, which is, I'm proud of that. So that taught me a lot, and like maybe now in the future we will do a different approach. Who knows? I don't know yet. It's not something. I need to grasp it to be able to say.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Obrigado. Uma última questão. Sim, ao lado.
Hi, Lidija. Oh, sorry. So in your experience, what matters more today for a designer trying to stand out? Having a strong visual identity or having a clear cultural and conceptual message behind the work?
Well, I think one need another. And it's like, of course, and there is a few, it's like, I would say in the late period, I saw very nice kind of suddenly emerge new designer that has a competence on technically look more like art than fashion. And like, for instance, suddenly Lebanese designer, and he used his heritage. And I would like to say something, for instance, couple of times, I tried to do, because I love streetwear also. I mean, I love everything. I love couture, I love streetwear, so I kind of bounce between two of them. And I would say that it needs, let's say, more street life, more accident. I think you can only create repetition if something doesn't happen between your colleagues. If you don't cut each other's shirt, if you don't improvise, if you don't go in Zara and destroy 5 shirts on Zara and say, write something on it, it's important to create these clashing things of your own culture, and that I was missing all the time. For instance, I mean, there is some ethnicities, they have this more. Portugal is still holding on something. So this is what you're holding, you have to, whatever it is, it's like, even if it's egg in the shoes, if it's the hat in the pants. I mean, you need to break this. There has to be street culture for fashion. That's where it feeds itself. There is no food. I mean, I must say, I get a little bit confused, and now I'm confused in that sense. Where to go, where to find, where is the, like, for instance, I'm thinking now maybe I go do something African, and I have somebody that is interested, that I do something inspired on Africa. I always wanted to do something like that, and it's full of heritage. And this is thing, it's like, I think that's what you asked me about. It has to do with heritage, and this heritage, it cannot be souvenir. It's not a souvenir. It's your street culture. It's your living. It's your relation. You're a friend. It's destroying. It's this being destructive, being opposite, being this. So it's up to you guys to find that and practice that, and to what you feel about Zara in the middle of what is nice about that space of Zara. Okay, that there is one coffee shop that never got sold to Zara. There is a space inside the Zara building, so go to him and find something, do something about that shop and attack Zara. Destroy their clothes and show it on the Mother Lisboa.
React, right?
Sorry, nobody, no records, no? No, I mean, you need to do something that is feed you.
Mm-hmm. React to things, right? And not accept passively things.
Yes.
Last question.
So, hello, good afternoon, Lidija.
Hi.
It's a pleasure to meet you. And I have a question for you about the multidisciplinary that you talk about between fashion and other types of arts.
Mm-hmm.
That I think that's something very important, and the students don't think about that nowadays. They mostly in fashion. I think that people think about fashion and only fashion. I don't think of fashion beyond just the clothes or doing the clothes. And I would like you to help us understand your process to create this merge between different types of art, and how can we, the young generation, improve our thinking by doing this merge between different types of arts. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for asking. I would say, it's like if you're going visiting exhibitions, if you're looking at other artists, even if you go with the closed eyes, they will influence you. It's a matter of interest. Everything starts with interest, with curiosity. I mean, it's like to be. I find myself many times alone. No one designer is that place. Wherever I go, it's. It's like I see very few people, my colleagues. Sometimes I don't see anybody where I go, and this is a thing, it's like you can find it everywhere. It's just to look and to, and dedicate. If you really do fashion, well, I advise you to not do if you're not curious, because you're not going to survive. I mean, how? Maybe then you say to yourself, I'm going to make clothes. There's that possibility also. I mean, make yourself, be aware of your territory. I don't like to limit myself, and it's like, because I'm curious, it's interests me,
Thank you, Lidija Kolovrat. Before we have an ovation to Lidija Kolovrat, let me just give you, make you the invitation for the next talks, okay? Next week, Tuesday, we have Luciana Fina with the screening. You have there, Lidija.
I'm just coming.
You have there. Go out,
Okay.
go out, leave the door open. We'll wait for Lidija for the ovation. We wait for you. Let me just give you make you the invitation. So next Tuesday, we'll receive Luciana Fina, that is an Italian artist based in Lisbon since 30 years, I think, also early 90s, that will show us a film on the Portuguese Revolution, Sempre, that was a commission from a film museum. So the 27th next Tuesday, and with a talk after. The 28th, we will welcome Didier Fiusa Faustino, a very important French and Portuguese architect and designer. So, by the way, in the entrance of Centro de Arte Moderna of Gulbenkian, there is this there is this container designed by him for this place, the entrance, the hall of CAM in Gulbenkian. The 5th May, we receive one of the most respected and influential authorities in philosophy and aesthetics, that is Maria Filomena Mulder, and finally Rita Lino, and finally Meg Stewart, the 13th May. Please come. It will be a beautiful closing of this program of the semester with this North American choreographer that films. So talking about mixing or putting in dialogue different fields about creativity. Meg Stewart, she's an example. She comes from contemporary dance, and nowadays she films, and she thinks the body in the public space through cinema to think about movement and citizenship. Okay, from my side, that's all. It was a long session and a beautiful lesson from Lidija Kolovrat, right? So let's just wait a minute to make an ovation to Lidija. And everybody... No, the talk with Meg Stewart, for sure, yes, in English. The other ones in Portuguese, yes. But the screening of Luciana Fina will have English subtitles. And it's a beautiful film about the Portuguese Revolution. It has its premiere 6 months ago. It's a new film. It was a commission by Cinemateca Portuguesa. So please welcome. All the program is free entrance. And it's, I repeat, it's for the city, okay? Let's build an idea that university, it's a living room of the city. And it's not only for students or the academic community. You are very welcome, and it's great to have you here, artists, curators, and clients of Lidija Kolovrat. She's coming? Not yet. Let's wait one minute because Lidija deserves a great ovation. Okay, everybody is a student of fashion here. The majority, please put the hands on the hair, the students. Wow, great classes you have. Wow, and congratulations for your attention and for your questions. It was the teachers who asked you to ask questions at the end. Yes. It was great. It was great, and really good questions. Pois é, estamos a falar em inglês. E ótimas perguntas. Parabéns pela vossa atenção. And now, yes, a great ovation. Thank you, Lidija Kolovrat. Obrigado, Lidija.
Obrigada eu para convidar. Vamos trocar o microfone. Só queria dar uma...
Está a funcionar, está a funcionar.
É? Sim?
Está a funcionar.
Ah, sim? Está a funcionar? Tá. Agora ouço. É assim, obrigada por ter a fazer perguntas, porque isso também ajuda a mim a pensar nisso. E eu entendo, eu vivo em Portugal há 35 anos, portanto entendo uma certa timidez, um receio, uma cultura. Portanto, eu acho que tendo isso, essa pergunta de como fazer moda, enriquecer. Eu acho que não precisa nem pensar nem moda, nem arte, enriquece aquilo que faz. E eu acho que cada vez se vê isso, e no social media, se uma pessoa enriquece uma coisa pequena, torna-se grande. Portanto, não precisa pensar em grande. Eu acho que é bonito. Small is beautiful. So it's like it's do your own correspondence, and that's what I tell him to myself too.
Thank you. So good. Great lesson. Obrigado, Lidija.